King Charles III's reported decision to consider legal action against Meghan Markle signals a significant escalation in the already strained relationship between the Sussexes and the monarchy. Allegations of defamation stemming from Meghan's podcast, Archetypes, have put the institution at a crossroads, testing the boundaries of free speech, the integrity of public storytelling, and the monarchy's adaptability to modern cultural expectations. Here's an in-depth look into the unfolding controversy. A podcast that strikes a nerve. Meghan Markle's Archetypes podcast, which positions itself as a platform for dismantling stereotypes about women, has been lauded for its empowering themes. However, certain episodes have drawn scrutiny for perceived veiled criticisms of the royal family. These allegations have reportedly unsettled King Charles and senior royal advisors, prompting consultations with legal experts on how best to address what they see as potential damage to the monarchy's reputation. The monarchy, steeped in centuries-old tradition, typically avoids overt confrontations in public disputes. However, the podcast's implied critiques may have crossed a line, leading to what could become a historic legal confrontation. The royal family's perspective. According to insiders, King Charles perceives the podcast as a calculated attempt to shape public perception of the Sussexes' royal departure while undermining the institution's credibility. The monarchy, a symbol of stability and unity, has long relied on public support for its survival. With a rising tide of criticism in the digital age, the podcast's global reach could be seen as a direct threat to the monarchy's carefully cultivated image. Charles's legal team is reportedly exploring whether the episodes meet the threshold for defamation under UK law. This could include a thorough examination of Meghan's statements, determining if they contain false or damaging assertions about the royal family. The freedom of speech dilemma. The potential legal action raises fundamental questions about freedom of speech versus institutional integrity. Meghan's supporters argue that her podcast represents her right to share personal experiences and perspectives, even if they touch on sensitive topics. Critics, however, claim that such storytelling blurs the line between personal empowerment and public defamation. This legal battle could ignite broader debates about the limits of free expression when it involves powerful institutions, particularly those tied to cultural identity and national pride. Media frenzy. Amplifying the conflict. Media outlets have not been passive bystanders in this dispute. Coverage of the podcast, often sensationalized, has fueled public debate, further polarizing opinions. Headlines focusing on the monarchy's potential legal steps against Meghan have drawn attention to the simmering tensions within the royal family, overshadowing the substantive themes of the podcast itself. This media amplification is a double-edged sword, both increasing public scrutiny of Meghan's statements and spotlighting the royal family's reaction, potentially feeding the perception of a modern monarchy struggling to maintain relevance. Meghan Markle's brand at stake. For Meghan, the stakes are equally high. As an advocate for women's empowerment, she has cultivated a public image centered around authenticity and resilience. However, the allegations of defamation place her at a crossroads. The outcome of this dispute could either strengthen her position as a voice for progressive values or cast doubts on the integrity of her narratives. Her critics accuse her of using the podcast as a platform to rewrite history and settle personal scores. Supporters, meanwhile, see her as a woman challenging entrenched power structures, a narrative that resonates with younger audiences seeking transparency and accountability. The broader implications for the monarchy. For King Charles, the dilemma goes beyond managing the immediate fallout. Legal action could alienate younger, more progressive audiences who sympathize with Meghan's messaging. On the other hand, ignoring the podcast's implications risks weakening the monarchy's authority, setting a precedent for future challenges. This conflict underscores a larger cultural clash between the monarchy's traditional values and the influencer-driven narratives of the digital age. As the monarchy seeks to modernize under Charles's reign, balancing the preservation of tradition with the realities of contemporary discourse is becoming increasingly critical. Potential outcomes. The resolution of this dispute could take several forms. Private settlement. Both parties may choose to resolve the issue behind closed doors, avoiding prolonged media scrutiny. Courtroom drama. A public trial would likely captivate global attention, potentially reshaping public perceptions of both the monarchy and Meghan Markle. Societal debate. Regardless of the legal outcome, the case could spark wider discussions about institutional accountability and the role of public storytelling in shaping historical narratives. A cultural moment. This controversy reflects deeper societal tensions about power, privilege, and modern communication. The monarchy's response will likely set a precedent for how institutions of its stature navigate the complexities of public discourse in the digital era. For Meghan, the dispute serves as a test of her ability to reconcile personal advocacy with the responsibilities of global influence. As this saga unfolds, it offers a lens into the evolving dynamics between tradition and modernity, individual agency, and institutional authority, highlighting the fragility and resilience of both personal brands and national institutions in the 21st century.